Hey guys, welcome to the Next Stop Wildlife Show Australia. I'm Wayne Caveman Keys and this is the beautiful Cumberland Plains. And I've been walking these Cumberland Plains for over 50 years. I love the place and it just never gets old. You can hear in the background, I can hear some bird noises like there's alarm calls that there's some birds of prey around. So you just never know what you can find down at your local park. And I want to take you for a journey with me and show you the beauty all around you, the beauty that you just don't see on a daily basis, and the beauty that you only see when you've been walking decades on the park. I'll teach you all of the tricks of the trade, how to find the animals, how to stalk up on the animals and get close, and even to be at one with the animals. So join us today for the journey and let's explore this mad park down in Western Sydney, one of the most endangered ecosystems in the world. So conserve and protect your local bushland. It's very important that future generations have the chance to witness the glory of Australia. This beauty is to be shared with everyone, and that's why I want you to come with me and share the walk. Let's go guys. We'll start off this walk on Snake Alley and at the world famous log of Nurragingy. So if you haven't been yet, get out to the world famous log of Nurragingy. It's spectacular. Let's go and explore with Keezy the Caveman on the next stop. First stop on the Cumberland Express today, we have a beautiful blue-tongued lizard, and I've been alerted by the bird calls. The cockatoos and other birds have been going absolutely crackers, you can hear them. And it's all because this guy is crawling through the grass. They've mistaken him for a snake, obviously, and a threat. And all our mate, the bluey, wants to do is just get out there and bask in the sun for a while and get his body temperature up to start of the day, and he's getting harassed by all of these birds. The poor fella. He's a pretty friendly little fella too. We got in nice and close, but we might let him go and get out to the next stop. Oh, Red-bellied is on the hunt for some frogs in the dwindling wetlands section. The water's it's receding rapidly, and you can see this red-bellied making his way through the sticks and the dwindling wetlands, and he'll be on the hunt for some frogs or water skinks. How amazing are these guys? The way they move through that terrain, just effortless. Just an absolute privilege out here on the Cumberland to witness this beautiful snake. They're one of my favourite snakes. They're so placid, they're absolutely gorgeous. As he disappears into the undergrowth, definitely on the hunt, this guy. Probably sensed some frogs or skinks underneath this leaf litter. They'll be burrowed in down into the muddy section to keep moist, the frogs. Our next stop's an absolute corker. It's one of our iconic cockatoos, one of the largest cockatoos in Australia, the yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Majestic. They're absolutely magnificent. We get a family down here at Nurragingy and they nest here every year, and this one actually looks like it could be one of the juveniles still. His beak hasn't quite got dark like black yet, and off he flies. How amazing. But yeah, when they're fully adult, that beak will turn a really dark glossy black colour. So he'll be up here just low in the trees, keeping away from all the noisy miners and that, and seen him with his ear up against the branch, learning how to hunt for borers. Our next stop, this is definitely one of my favourite birds in the whole Cumberland Plains. It's one amazing, colourful, spectacular bird. The colorations are world class on these beautiful eastern rosellas. Found down the eastern coast of Australia, There's many different subspecies of the rosella all across Australia, all different colorations, but the eastern variety, absolutely beautiful. Grasslands and wetlands birds, equally at home on the plains. They feed on the millet seeds and all of the freshly germinating grasses. They really enjoy the Cumberland Plains. They're beautiful. Next stop along the waterways of Nurragingy, we spot one of the staples, the eastern water dragon. I think I just seen a kingfisher. And here is the kingfisher's nest. And it looks like he's trying to call this little baby out of the nest. So it must be close to fledging. You can see it inside the nest. It's almost the size of the full-grown adult. And it's starting to even get the colours in the front just behind the beak. Hopefully you can see that, because he's just backed up into his little cavity here in the hollow. And he's crying out for food, but Mum seems to be laxing off giving him food, and she's been calling him out of this little hollow. She's calling him out, and I think she says it's time for him to fledge the nest right now. So he's just having a look out, but this is definitely the day that he's going to fledge from the nest. So this is probably one of the last feedings that we're going to see down at Nurragingy. Soon we're going to have one more sacred kingfisher down at the Gingy. Our next stop, an absolute ripper and a half. This is one of the most massive sawshell turtles I've ever seen. It is just a monster. Look at the size of the head on this guy. He's been down here for so long it's not funny. He's way out of his range, but he calls the world famous log of Nurragingy his home. Oh, check this out. Further down, just past the log, we've seen a magic azure kingfisher, and he's on the hunt for some little guppies and fish underneath the water. So we'll try and get in a little bit closer to this guy and get some better footage. They're so skittish. It's really quite a difficult proposition to get in close to these guys. They're spooked rather easily, and they're so tiny, they're hard to spot. Unless you get them in direct sunlight like this, I often spot the buff brown on the chest first. We've crept in a little bit closer now, and they're a very skittish and shy bird. And he's hunting at the moment, just over the water. And they are one of the smallest kingfishers that ever see. So it's an absolute privilege, and at the moment, if you get down to Nurragingy, they've just got an amazing array of azure and sacred kingfishers, quite a good amount, so you've got a really good chance of spotting one of these guys down at Nurragingy. And we might actually get to see him dive in and get some prey here. They've definitely got a nest not far down the pond here. And it's been one amazing spring and summer season this year. I can't say enough about this park. The management of the park by the council is so good too. They put a lot of work into the park and maintenance. So a lot of other parks could learn by this one. How amazing is those beautiful royal blue metallic iridescent colours on these guys. And I'd say they're almost everyone's favourite kingfisher locally. I know the paradise kingfisher is such a gorgeous kingfisher from up in the top end, but the little azure, it's just got a special place in my heart. So yeah, as we watch over the pond, we get such a good view of this guy. It's taken him a little while to spot any prey in the water here. It's quite a large number and food source in this pond and all over Nurragingy. That's why we've got so many animals here. The food source from top to bottom is just unbelievable. And off he goes. Oh, and he's landed right next to me in the tree. Oh, this is one of the most spectacular moments I've ever had in wildlife. This guy is literally 12 foot away from me in a little tree, and I'm not even sure if he can see me. I'm hiding behind a log. Oh, he's seen me now. Next stop, we've got a beautiful sacred kingfisher, and they're one of the staples out here too, and they have a totally different colour blue. It's more of a deep sky blue, and on the head it's actually got a pale sky blue, and it's so metallic, it's spectacular. They actually get a buff brown about the chest too at times in the breeding season, but you can see that metallic chest. And at the moment he's calling out for his little baby to come out of the nest. It's time for the babies to fledge. So if you wanted to see the babies fledge down Nurragingy, unfortunately it looks like you've missed out for this year, because the mum's here calling the baby out. Next stop, we've got the magical eastern snake-necked turtle, as I like to call it, as I've always called it since I've been a kid. And it's also known as the eastern long-necked turtle of Australia, and he's in a typical position here basking for sun. You quite often see these guys on a hot day. They are still a cold-blooded reptile, so they need to regulate that body temperature with the sun. So they stay out for quite some length of time. They don't mind to dry out a little bit, the turtles. And from the trees, I can feel eyes on us. And it's a massive, massive lace monitor. The arms on this guy are as big as my arms. They are huge. And I know this guy. He's the king in this area, and nobody messes with this guy. Not even humans. He'll puff up the throat, and I've seen him rear up on the back legs, this guy, before, when I've been walking through the tracks and I've startled him. And then he took off up a tree, but yeah, amazing. To see these guys is just spectacular. The eyes of the bush are upon us no matter where we go, and our eyes have to be trained to find these animals. And as we head on back to the car, might call it a day, and been a magic day. We see a beautiful, looks like a female bowerbird, satin bowerbird, with some sort of a little bug it's found on the track, on my track that I'm walking back to the car. So I thought I'd stop and film her for a while. And it's been a top day out here at Nurragingy, and special thanks to Jean and Natasha and Arcos and his lovely wife Netra, two mad photographers, and they really are great photographers, and great company. The four of yous, thanks a lot for the day, absolutely magnificent. Okay folks, what a mad day, and I hope you enjoyed that, and very interesting. You can see how listening out into the bush at all of the sounds can really make a difference out here. And the slightest little sounds, you never know, it could be something big out in the bush. So next time you're out here, keep your eyes peeled and make sure you watch out for any of these beautiful noises out in the bush with the ears. Okay, let's get out of here on the next stop.